Hello everyone, it is Friday, November 26, 2010, and this is your daily dose of reptile news. How many of you out there really just get infuriated when you hear about proposed rule change by the Fish and Wildlife Service, especially when those rule changes make absolutely no sense at all? I mean, am I alone here? I mean, some mornings I just hate doing this because I'm reading about these rule changes. Anyway, you know where we're going with this. We have a story. New Hampshire Fish and Game is going through with some proposals that make absolutely no sense. Now, New Hampshire already has a ton of wildlife, both plants and animal laws of what you can and can't have, and they're just constantly sticking their foot in your front door. And you know, a lot of people don't know, bullfrogs are illegal to bring into the state of New Hampshire unless, of course, they're dead and being sold as food or for educational purpose. And any sort of wildlife, tadpoles, mainly pond life, is illegal to keep in outdoor ponds for the fear that they're going to escape. Well, now alligators are illegal in the state of New Hampshire. Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Alligators have been illegal, but they have not been on the list of illegal species. Well, the new proposal is moving forward to add them to that list. Now, we've seen, you've watched me, I've watched me, I've listened to me, I know what I say, I stand by what I say. I don't see why somebody needs to own an alligator, but that, I've seen some landowners out there that have animals like that and just love them, and they've got the room and the money to care for them and the know-how and the employees, and that's all good. Where I'm coming from is having an alligator in your little 200 square foot apartment. We've all heard it up in New York, all over the country. I think that is ridiculous, and I don't think it's necessary for somebody to have an alligator living in a goddamn bathtub in an apartment. That's where I'm coming from. Now, here in New Hampshire, like I said, it's been illegal. They were already outlawed. They were banned, I guess we can use, in the state of New Hampshire. Now they're going to be added to that list. However, bison in the state of New Hampshire are not a controlled species, and there are reports of bison being out in the wild in New Hampshire, and that's something that just infuriates me. Is bison can live there, there's reports of them being there in the wild, and they don't give two shits about it, but they got to go pick on the reptile guy, and there's no way in hell that an alligator is going to survive in the state of New Hampshire year-round. There's no way it's going to become an invasive species up there, but yeah, they're banned. And that brings us to a short list. I would like to do a top 10 list, but I don't have the time, but a short list of dumbass laws coming out of the state of New Hampshire. In the state of New Hampshire, it is illegal to sell your clothing to pay off a gambling debt. If you happen to be a rancher in the state of New Hampshire, it is illegal for your cattle to cross the road without a poop catching device underneath them. And last but not least, our number one in our top 3 list is, in the state of New Hampshire, it is against the law in the state of New Hampshire to relieve yourself on a Sunday while looking upwards. Point proven. Now, I'm not picking on the state of New Hampshire. There's good people in New Hampshire. I'm just, my simple point here is, I am getting ready to slam the door on that foot that keeps sticking in it. It's just getting ridiculous, and it's like the home of the free is becoming the home of the restricted, and we got all these goddamn wars going on. Our whole country is flipped upside down in an economic crisis. Whether they say it's improving or not, I don't care. It's not. And who gives two shits about an alligator in New Hampshire that could not survive and could not become an invasive species? Stop spending my tax dollars on this bullshit and spend my tax dollars on the stuff that's going to help me pay my mortgage. Bottom line. And there was a big scare in the park over in the UK. Apparently some children found a frozen snake. They went and gathered a reptile enthusiast who works at a college over there, and the snake was 90% positively identified as a cobra. They're saying obviously this cobra is not indigenous, so it must have either been a released pet or an escaped pet, which almost kind of reiterates what we were just talking about. It's we've all done it. Snakes are escape artists, we all know that, but no snake and no community of people should be blamed for one jackass not properly securing his snake cage. I've lost snakes, you've lost snakes, don't tell me you haven't. And it's not a matter of pointing fingers, who's right and wrong. The point is that, you know, I learned my lesson the hard way. I lost an expensive snake and I never found it. Thank God it was one that could not live in this area, so good, but I take so many precautions now to keep everything just locked down, and there is, short of somebody coming into my office and cutting locks and letting snakes out, there's no way that those things are getting out. And for those that may release snakes into the wild, you know, I've got a real stern message for you, but this is a family-friendly video, so I'm not going to tell you, but you pretty much know which finger I'd like to use. And in other news, down south, Billy Bob Thornton apparently bought a mansion owned by Slash. Now, some of you that don't follow the whole celebrity thing or 1980s drug-addicted rock stars, whatever, I don't either. I just got it in the news, but that was funny. Slash is a reptile enthusiast. He keeps several snakes and lizards. And Billy Bob Thornton purchased one of his prior residences that was aptly nicknamed the Snake Pit. Now, Billy Bob Thornton's daughter enjoys reptiles. I'm not sure if she keeps any or not, but enjoys them and does not understand why her father has a fear of lizards, apparently. Billy Bob Thornton claims that he doesn't have a problem with snakes growing up. I think it was in Alabama he grew up. He said they dealt with snakes all the time up there, but he says the ones with legs he just does not like. So he called a professional in to scour the residence and make sure that Slash did not leave any eggs behind for his pet lizards or animals running around there. So, yeah, you know, Slash, I hope you didn't. Billy Bob Thornton, grow up. Really. I mean, I'm scared to death of termites and mountain lions, not lizard eggs. And for our final story of the day, we're going to move up to Canada, Ontario to be exact, where apparently for the first time in Ontario and presumably the entire country, construction crews, commercial construction crews that demolish bridges, roads, and you know, that sort of thing, are being trained in conservation and you know, watching out where the buckets their backhoes are digging. And one recent project where apparently a very large area is to be demolished, the Ministry of Transportation, according to a permit issued by them, what they are requiring, according to their Endangered Species Act up there in Ontario, when specific endangered plants and animals, as far as our world goes, the Butlers garter snake, when they are spotted, the construction crews are required to stop work, capture the animal, remove the plant, and relocate it to a suitable habitat where it can live. Now, I think, you know, I have two sides of this. It's and I'm a real unbiased person, which makes me the perfect person for giving you your news. I think it is freaking awesome that these people can't just destroy stuff, that they're going to have to start spending their billions of dollars a year that they're making in conserving species and habitat across the entire gambit of the animal kingdom. However, I think it kind of sucks because it's going to be millions of dollars in lost revenue for these companies, and what that is going to translate into is a higher cost for us when we want to call these people out to do this work. So it kind of sucks. You know, you got to kind of weigh the good and the bad, though. I never mind paying a higher cost for conservation. I will pay double the price for someone to work on my property, knowing that they're not just going to be destroying and killing things, as opposed to saving half the money and not knowing what's going to be going on. So anyway, yeah, that brings us to our question of the day. We're going to rewind about 10 minutes or so or whatever, right back to the beginning. What do you think about not just New Hampshire, all of these laws, you know, all of these laws that are banning and prohibiting this and that and everything, with no scientific grounds, and to add insult to injury when the Fish and Wildlife Service says they know that these animals cannot survive and cannot establish a breeding colony in this area, but they're going to ban them anyway. What do you guys think about that? Like I said, do you get as pissed off as I do when you hear stuff like that? Leave a text comment or a video response below. And as always, if you're still watching, my name is Jason White. Now you know what's going on in the reptile world. Be good to each other.
Feel their teeth puncture your skin.